So honestly, I've never experienced fear like that. Unless I'm with Jason from Kentucky, maybe. But that was so scary. Sadly for Tara especially, who wanted to keep going. Yeah. I couldn't. I freaked out, and we are heading back down this treacherous little trail. I'm almost to a place where I would not certainly die if I fell. Fear. Sometimes it's meant to be conquered. But other times, the fear induces the flight instinct, which is designed to protect ourselves from harm. When I faced fear on this trip, I turned around and ran like the wind.
Where are you?
Do you know where we are?
We're outside in the sunshine.
This is the Rancher Rios Trail, a 21-mile horseshoe loop in Big Bend Ranch State Park. The trail requires some navigational skills as it is unmarked, except for a few cairns along the way. As it is the high desert of West Texas, everything here is thorny. It wants to bite you, poke you, prick you, and in some cases even go through your shoe. I donated small amounts of blood on 3 occasions simply by brushing up against some of these thorny bushes. And water is very scarce. And again, our original plan was to hike to one of the only water sources along this trail. So this may be a simple lesson. Don't ever guzzle your beverages as if you had plenty to spare. We're climbing down this kind of sketchy section of mountain, and it's important to consider that if Tara and I, one of us were to break an ankle or something here, we would be stuck out here while the other goes back for a rescue. And if somebody was by themselves, you'd probably be in pretty deep shit. Although a very stunning landscape, the trails were largely made up of large rocks or loose rocks. And at about 4.5 miles into the trail, we came across this.
We gotta get to the water, man.
I know, but it freaks me out. I just need a minute to not be afraid. As cameras rarely do justice to these situations, just visualize loose rock trails right on the edge of an 80-foot cliff. If I'm being honest, it's the most petrified I think I've ever been on trail in terms of heights. Mostly because it's really loose rock and close to the edge. And the next little section does not look all that fun either. Tara's being very encouraging, but
I find it thrilling. Wait, we see the view on top. I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm...
So honestly, I've never experienced fear like that, but that was so scary. Sadly for Tara especially, who wanted to keep going. Yeah. I couldn't. I freaked out, and we are heading back down this treacherous little trail. I'm almost to a place where I would not certainly die if I fell.
I was thinking about those hornets, and that was the thought going through my head.
I rest my case on this loose rock, sheer cliff trail that I failed on. Arrived alive.
That's what I say.
So do I regret not pushing forward? Yes. If I slip and fall off of this cliff, will I die? Most likely, yes. Even if that risk was minimal, I could control it by deciding to turn around and living to hike another day. Plan B, we are walking back towards the car. We were in about 4.5 miles when my knees buckled and I could not carry on that sheer cliff. But we're going to make the best of it, like I said, and find camp somewhere, hopefully off trail.
On my butt, I'm going to do
So our plans had to be changed and adapted, par for the course in backpacking. But rather than 2 nights and 21 miles, we're going to get 1 night and 9 miles. But we're still in nature, we're still on trail, and there's still plenty of places to camp and have a great time anyway. So let's unpack our physical and emotional baggage and enjoy New Year's Eve under the big bright stars of Texas. What? Okay. Yeah, y'all. Skirt. Ratata. Billy boom 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 die. Oh. Most of the terrain off trail is really hilly and very rocky, but we were lucky enough to find a flat spot to pitch the tent. Delighting in the afternoon sun, it was 75 degrees, so we set up camp slowly and just enjoyed the beautiful weather. Tara took an afternoon snooze, while I explored a little and looked for the possibility of water at this seeping spring we had passed earlier. I was hoping to get at least enough water out of it to cook with and possibly make coffee in the morning. Trying a few different methods, I ended up using my dirt diggler, and I know that sounds gross, but I promise it was clean. Plus, we boiled the shit out of that water. The sun fell below the mountains behind us, and it was time for a deluxe New Year's Eve dinner. Mac and cheese with Spam chunks. Happy I used my poop trowel to get enough water to cook this 2-cup required meal. I filtered it and began to boil. Then I delicately fried the Spam to a crisp outer edge and a juicy moist center. Then we ate and snacked until the sun went down, and naturally, time to watch a movie. With no moon, the stars tonight were absolutely epic. Being a tad on the scatterbrain side, I like to change clothes, pack, and cook all at the same time. After packing up and leaving no trace, we had a short 3-mile hike back to the car. Nothing more beautiful than a morning hike. One thing we got really lucky on is water. Due to my fear of making us turn back, our original plan was to hike to a water source. So that was foiled by my trembling knees. And with about a mile left, this is what I have left, and Tara about the same. So without the luck of a tiny little seeping spring, we'd probably be on empty right now. We made it back alive. It was a fun little trip, even though we had to make some weird decisions. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you real soon. Fear comes in many forms. It may be darkness, or wildlife, or even creepy crawlers in the night. Maybe aliens. On this trip, my fear of heights got the win. Let's grab a cheeseburger and forget about it. Bye.